You know, I'm not trying to toot my horn today, man. Believe me, I never wanted this channel to become like a rant channel. But it somehow did. It morphed into that. Because there's just so many things to bitch about. And I don't like bitching. I honestly can't find that many things to bitch about constantly, which is why this isn't a 24/7 rant channel. But there is some things that I see that is just outright stupidity that we just have to point out. With that being said, let's talk about the thing that we've all given a try to, and it's just not working: no radar. Now, no radar. This was a concept that was put forth, and a concept I immediately shot down. I knew it was gonna be shit. And yes, we had some fun games and fun moments with no radar, but let's be real. No radar just does not work with Destiny. Because the things that have changed here recently that definitely doesn't make no radar work is the fact that time to kill for a lot of weapons is starting to speed up. You see, no radar was actually kinda okay when all the TTKs in the game was around like 1.1 and above. 1 second, 1.1 and above. There was a few exceptions, of course, with Last Hopes and Anti-Hopes, but I will say everything outside of that, the no radar thing was not necessarily hurting it. Now you're getting into stuff where there's Graviton Lance that has got a very nice TTK, and Vigilance Wing, which also has a very nice TTK. Anti-Hope is still going hard, so that's killing anything up close, as well as that mid-range, and of course Last Hopes are deadly up close. So all of these weapons are the standout guns in a no radar environment, and it just does not work. To make matters worse, an exotic has been introduced to the hunter class called the Wormhusk. Now, Wormhusk allows essentially hunters to shade step into full health again, not necessarily, but it starts recovery immediately, and this is why you get beat a lot of times in no radar situations. It's very aggravating. See, in a radar environment, if a hunter was to shade step, well, you still got him on your radar. You see exactly where he's going. Sure, he might have a little bit of health, but you'll be able to start tacking him up a little bit and get him back down again. You'll be able to find him again. But in a no radar environment where a hunter can shade step out of the way, jump over you, and pretty much lose you completely, he'll have his full health back. You'll still be at half health because that's just the way recovery is, and he will then be able to kill you. It is extremely aggravating under all circumstances, but very aggravating in a no radar setting. This is actually breaking the game right now. The subclass imbalance in the game is the largest I have ever seen it. And it's because exotics like these that are so catered to PvP and then amplified with a no radar setting. Now granted, I know we have exotic armor masterworks coming out, and I am very excited to try all those. But a lot of those masterworks I feel like is going to definitely help the classes, but more so in a radar environment. In a non-radar environment, without any exotics, I still see hunters being the more dominant class. They have the verticality, they have the mobility, they have the shifty movement to get out of situations, as well as shade step. They have a lot of things there. Times Wormhusk as well. I just don't see the classes becoming balanced again, especially with no radar. All of these things were outlined a while back. I talked about no radar not working in this game. We gave it a try. It was doing pretty good. But now that we're starting to get time to kill closer and closer to D1, it's starting to become understood why we had radar to begin with in Destiny 1. To me, the whole no radar thing, guys, is just a band-aid fix. It's something that could have been addressed in a much better way. We wanted the radius on our radar to be cut down a little bit. We wanted it to immediately come back to us when we come out of sights. But even then, the main thing was the radius itself needed to be cut down to where you couldn't see people on the other side of the map with your radar. Or maybe even a modified radar system in Trials that will only ping up if enemies are shooting or if enemies are just standing still and stagnant in a corner. Something to give off a little ping. There's been lots of different variations that we've proposed that would have been a much better idea than what we currently have with no radar. I know here recently Christopher Barrett reached out and was asking what we can do to improve sound cues in the game. Sound cues in the game would be nice to be able to amplify a little more to get an idea of where people are around the map. The issue is that works really well in some games, but there's so many different noises in D2 and they're loud as fuck. Your grenade going off is super loud. It's so loud that it pretty much muffles footsteps and everything else involved that could possibly indicate where the enemy is. I just don't see no radar being a solution that will save ranked in trials. It just won't. And not that ranked in trials is doing terrible. It stayed pretty much around the same area. You always see a spike up in trials after an update. But the ranked playlist is in trouble. It's in a lot of trouble. I see people that are never going to go back into that playlist once they obtain the weapons. And on top of that, some people are just not even going after the weapons to begin with. Weapon rewards should not be an incentive, though, for us to grind a playlist. And that's an issue that I see. A lot of times in many other games, you don't even get anything for grinding out a ranked or competitive playlist. But what you do get is a number that you're proud of. And at the same time, with all those things being said, there is a fun factor involved in that playlist that keeps you coming back. And ranked currently right now and trials does not have that formula. It does not have that thing that makes players want to stay in the playlist. And I think a lot of that is actually just related to the shitty matchmaking that we have going on in ranked, and also no radar. This is a dueling game, guys. Destiny, even in D1, was a dueling game. It was a game in which you saw a player in front of you and you dueled it out. Whether you had a hand cannon, a pulse rifle, a grenade, a class ability of some sort, whatever it was, you had many methods and many combinations of things that could deal with that opponent. But it was not you sneaking up behind an enemy. It was not you waiting in a corner and waiting for him to run past you to get a melee off in a last hope spray. No, it was a duel. It was a tango, and it was beautiful. And it was something that made people watch constantly on Twitch, and that was the formula that worked so well with Destiny 1. And it is something that Destiny 2 could have. But in the present conditions of ranked and trials right now, it is never gonna work. Guys, I just wanted to put my thoughts out on it. I understand the pain that some of you are feeling right now with the current matchmaking and ranked. I know some of my top tier players that are trying to go in there and grind out. It is a bitch. On top of that, for me, whenever I go into rank, it takes me nearly 10 minutes to get a match even to get going, because skill-based matchmaking is so heavy in the ranked playlist. And the way matchmaking works with Bungie in the ranked playlist is they go off of win percentages. So if your character has a certain win percentage, you know, if I win, like, I think for me, I win 89% of my games, okay? I know that's a specific number, but that's what, like, Destiny Tracker has. I win 89% of my games. I will be matched up against other players who win 89% of their games. And so, I guess if you lose a lot of games, you might be okay. But for the people that do tend to win their games and go for it on a regular basis, you will be up against the win, and it will be tougher for you. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. Ranked is supposed to be a pure rank-to-rank matchmaking. It's not supposed to be win percentage or win matchmaking or skill-based matchmaking in any sense of the form. It's supposed to be purely based on ranked. And what's so crazy is everything that I'm saying in this video, I've said it in separate videos, whole entire videos of my fears for rank, my fears for trials with no radar. And unfortunately, once you get past the honeymoon phase of a new update, you start to outline and see where the game is being hurt the most, and especially where things just are not jiving. And right now, the no radar system in this game is just not jiving with the formula that Destiny is. Guys, thank you so much for coming and watching my video, man. Hey, it's been a while since I know I put an upload out. Just been on vacation for a bit. Guys, I'm going to be uploading all this week, especially with these exotic armor pieces coming out. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching this video. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.